What's up, guys, and welcome, daily theologians. You thought candy was just for eating well. Not anymore. It is a political statement, it is an ideology, and it is really a driver of a distortion of reality. You're not going to want to miss this as Dr. L. Mohler weighs in on M&Ms. Check this out. So if you haven't seen the rebrand of M&Ms, I saw this last week and was like, another company. What's the big deal? But Al Mohler weighed in, so I thought I would do this video. Here is the initial announcement.
M&M making some rebranding changes. Company leaders say they're trying to make the characters, particularly the female ones, more current and representative of their consumer. Green has swapped her go-go boots for sneakers. Brown is sporting lower, more sensible heels.
You're going to see our brand evolve in its look and feel to reflect a dynamic and progressive world that we're living in. For example, green, you'll see her better reflect empowerment and confidence. You're going to see green and brown together being a supporting force for women who are throwing shine and not shade.
Throwing shine. What about the shade they're throwing at reality? I think they're throwing a lot of shade. It's just they think they're throwing it in the right direction. And so the insanity continues. These are candies now sporting an ideology in order to what? Well, Dr. Mohler said that in 2015, this is from an article, that basically they were making a push to make these two M&M characters lesbians in 2015. And now the most basic assumption of biology is being rewritten. It's being thrown into the trash can to try to rewrite the future. And I think it's really an attempt to try to hypnotize people and to get them to basically brainwash children from a young age about these issues. And when you look at this, in the end, the primary driver, according to Dr. L. Mohler, is that people are going to look back and see that corporations had a huge part in this, and they're trying to read their consumer base into the future. And so they're trying to look into the future and say, well, where is everything going? And let's make sure we're ahead of that so that we get more sales. Does anyone care about the ideas of candy? I wouldn't. I don't see how this is relevant in any way. In fact, what this is going to do to a majority of people is cause them to stop eating this candy. But the reason that this video is important, and you need to stick around for this part, is that this is the age-old problem. And what I mean by this is that there is a fundamental denial of the resurrection of the dead in this idea. There's a fundamental ignoring of the created order. And you see in Matthew 22 that the Sadducees are constantly lining up to try to attack Jesus and try to trap him about the resurrection from the dead. And they come up with a series of challenges, and they keep basically failing. And he gives them what's called the Great Commandment. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Well, that was in the context of teaching them that there is a resurrection from the dead. He quotes Moses in the burning bush saying, God is the God of the living, not the God of the dead. So there will be a resurrection and a judgment, and they need to repent because they are false teachers. And that's where this love God, love your neighbor commandment is. They're trying to trap him again. And he explains that to defend the resurrection. And there are other questions about paying taxes to Caesar, etc. Whose wife will she be? He answers all those. Then he goes on to give in Matthew 23, 7 woes. Basically, they're going to be damned because they reject the truth of who he is and their need to repent and believe the gospel, and ultimately in the resurrection of the dead. So let me show you this from Matthew 5, 28 and 29. Do not marvel at this. An hour is coming when all who are in the tombs will hear the voice of the Son of Man, or hear his voice, and come out, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, those who have done evil to the resurrection of the judgment. So what's the message here? Judgment is coming. The resurrection is coming. All people will be raised, not just some, all people. The people that have not repented and believed, and the believers. Now, the believers will be with Jesus in heaven. The unbelievers will be raised from what we now call hell, to be judged forever in a place called the lake of fire. Either way, there's going to be a resurrection of all people, even those that deny the truth. like M&Ms, the people that follow this ideology that distort and twist reality. The day is coming where they will hear the voice of Jesus. So they must repent and believe the gospel while there's time, because this bending of reality, this make up whatever you want creed of 2022, 2021, how long has this been going on? Whatever this woke creed is, the day is coming where this creed will be no more and reality will take over. And people will see that there is a creator that they already know. They're suppressing the truth and unrighteousness, and they will stand before the God that made them. They will stand before their righteous, angry judge. So while there is time, you must repent, kiss the Son, lest you perish, according to Psalm chapter 2. They must repent and believe the gospel. So things like this matter because the resurrection of all people, unbelievers and believers, the day is coming. Day by day, we're ticking closer and closer. And Steve Lawson had a tweet I was going to put up here, but he's looking forward to the return of Jesus, and many people can resonate with that right now, because as the world gets more and more crazy, you wonder, where's the sanity in this? Well, the sanity is that these are the signs of the return of Jesus, and we're closer and closer day by day. I'm not saying it's coming tomorrow or anytime soon, but we're definitely getting closer each day. Let me know what you think below. Leave a comment, and remember to hammer that like button, like the 95 Theses, and take a moment and subscribe to the channel. It would greatly help. Thank you so much, and God bless.